Game.
In the world of ancient mythology, the story of Aeneas and Rome is actually one of the most fascinating tales to tell. Good morning, everyone. Praise be Jesus and Mary. Today, we will have a discussion about the story of Aeneas and Rome. This story is actually one of the most well known and significant tales in ancient Roman mythology and history. It follows the journey of Aeneas, a Trojan hero, as he escape a Trojan hero as he escapes the destruction of Troy and navigates a perilous path to Italy where he is destined to found the city of Rome. The story of Aeneas and Rome has actually been passed down through the ages in various forms, including epic poetry, artwork, and literature. It has been retold and reinterpreted by countless authors, poets, and artists over the centuries, and it continues to inspire and captivate audiences to this day. In this report or in this discussion, we will delve into the rich history and mythology of Aeneas and Rome. We will actually explore the key themes, characters, and events that shapes this epic tale, and we will examine the impact that it has had on the Roman culture and identity. So, Leanne will going to present a video presentation of the summary of the story. So, sit back, relax, and join us as we embark on a journey through the fascinating story of Aeneas and Rome. Di siya madunggan, Lee.
What, tingog?
Yes. Dili siya. Ako na lang ikuan, yung story ay.
Kajat lang, kajat lang. Wala gyapon?
Wala yapon. Since we have a problem in the audio, I am going to uh, discuss to you na lang the summary of the story. So, the Aeneid or the Aeneas and Rome story is actually an epic, and the persons, is actually an epic poem written by the ancient Roman poet Virgil in the first century before Christ's era. The poem tells the story of Aeneas, a Trojan prince who escapes the destructions of his city and travels to Italy, where he becomes the founder of Roman race. After the fall of Troy, Aeneas is commanded by the gods to flee the city with his followers and find a new home. They set sail for Italy, but their journey is full of trials and setbacks. Along the way, um, they stop at the island of Sicily, where they hold a funeral for Aeneas' father, Anchises. They also encounter the fearsome Cyclops and Polyphemus, who attacks them but is eventually blinded by Aeneas and his men. As they continue their journey, Aeneas and his companions had land on the shores of Carthage, where they are welcomed by the Queen Dido. Aeneas tells her of his travels and the destruction of Troy, and both of them fall in love. However, the gods remind Aeneas of his destiny to find a new city, and he decides to leave Carthage despite Dido's pleas for him. for him to stay. Aeneas and his followers eventually reach Italy, where they encounter various local tribes and make alliance with some of them. However, they also face opposition from others, including the fierce warriors Turnus, who is betrothed to the Latin princess Lavinia. Aeneas and Turnus engage in a final battle, during which Turnus is killed and Aeneas emerges victorious. At the end of the poem, Aeneas is held as a foundation loyalty and portrays Aeneas as a heroic figure who embodies these qualities. So, Leanne, Leanne will share another story from the Bible entitled The Journey of Israelites to the Promised Land.
So, the Promised Land. The Promised Land is a significant story in the Bible that tells the Israelites' journey to the land that God had promised to give them. The story is mainly found in the Old Testament, particularly in the books of Exodus, Numbers, and Joshua. According to the Bible, the Israelites were enslaved in Egypt for many years until God sent Moses to lead them out of bondage. After many miraculous signs and wonders, including the parting of the Red Sea, the Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. So, the journey was not easy. The Israelites faced many challenges, including hunger, thirst, and attacks from hostile tribes. However, God provided for them, sending by manna, quail, and water from a rock. Moses also received the Ten Commandments from God during their journey at Mount Sinai. Eventually, the Israelites arrived at the border of the Promised Land. Moses sent 12 spies to scout the land, but only two, Joshua and Caleb, gave a positive report. The rest of the spies were fearful and discouraged the Israelites from entering the land. Because of their lack of faith, God punished the Israelites and made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years. After the 40 years, Moses died and Joshua led the Israelites across the Jordan River and into the Promised Land. They conquered many cities and established their own kingdom, which was ruled by a series of judges and later kings. The journey of the Israelites to the Promised Land is considered of a symbol of faith, perseverance, and obedience to God's will. It remains as an important part of Jewish and Christian history and is celebrated in many religious traditions. So, Kayla,
Okay, so which scripture from the Bible is the story similar? Okay. There's no exact parallel story in the Bible to the tale of Aeneas and the founding of Rome. However, we have discovered that there are some similarities between the journey of Aeneas and the story of the Israelites in the Old Testament. Particularly, the exodus from Egypt and their journey to the Promised Land. Like the Israelites, Aeneas is forced to flee from a city that is destroyed and embark on a long and difficult journey. He faces many challenges along the way, but ultimately, he is able to found a new city and secure a future for his family. Additionally, the Both stories emphasize the importance of faith and destiny in guiding the actions of the characters. Aeneas is guided by the gods and his duty to his people, while the Israelites are led by God and his promise to bring them to a land flowing with milk and honey.
So, So, after a thorough analysis and understanding of these both stories, we've come to conclude that it is evident that both narratives share several similarities. Both stories are characterized by the protagonist's long and arduous journeys with the promise of a better future as the ultimate goal. Additionally, both Aeneas and Israelites face numerous obstacles and challenges along their respective journeys, ranging from the natural disasters to human adversities. Furthermore, both stories have significant cultural and religious importance. The story of Aeneas and Rome is founding myth that helped establish the cultural identity and sense of purpose for the Roman people. Similarly, the journey of the Israelites to the promised land is actually a fundamental part of Jewish history and religious identity. Another significant similarity between the two stories is the theme of divine intervention. In both narratives, the protagonists receive guidance and support from a higher power, which helps them overcome challenges and ultimately achieve their goals. So, in conclusion, the stories of Aeneas and Rome and the journey of the Israelites to the Promised Land share many similarities, including long and challenging journeys, cultural, religious significance, and the theme of divine intervention. These similarities highlight the universal themes of resilience, determination, and faith that have been integral to human history and continue to shape our world today. So that's it for our discussion. I hope you gathered a lot of learning from it. Thank you for listening. Feel free to ask questions, guys.
Mana mo jam?
Yes, Grazia, mag-ask a question.
Lalaki.
I think wala may question. So, let's proceed na lang to the reporter of Grazia Palapar.